In this sixth session, we're going to look at one specific example of changing the institutions that deliver water and sanitation services. We'll explore in several steps the details of a radical institutional change, the UK water privatisation that happened in 1989. Across the next 6 videos, we'll examine the local context, promises, prerequisites, price, and outcomes of the privatisation of the UK water industry. In the first video of the 6, we'll set out a historical, almost biographical narrative of some prominent political figures who strongly drove the UK water privatisation case, and the promises they made about it. But we'll find this account to be incomplete, and we'll explain why, drawing also on some material about the UK's longer-term water development path that is in our Part 1 MOOC. In our second video, we'll offer a more nuanced narrative. We'll describe specific status quo conditions that facilitated UK water privatisation. These include the pre-existing organisation of the UK water sector, the condition of the water and sanitation networks, the presence of a wider, parallel programme of privatisations in other utility sectors, and the ability to transfer learning from those activities. Thirdly, we'll look at the issue of setting an appropriate sale price for the UK water privatisation. This is not a simple issue. It results in a single price that is effectively a kind of one-off policy intervention that cannot easily be revisited over time, in the same way as, say, tariffs can be revised, a topic we discussed in Session 3. Nevertheless, similar issues around economic, social, and environmental objectives to the sale price will arise in our analysis. Our fourth, fifth, and sixth videos will separate out what we consider to be the positive, negative, and unclear outcomes respectively. Here we'll also draw on some published work evaluating the UK privatisation programme. Across these 6 videos, it's important to understand that our account is an overview. The UK's industrial privatisation programme was a major undertaking, and the water privatisation was just one, albeit highly significant, part of that process. In this session, we only aim to provide an overview of some key outcomes. If you're interested in the many intricate historical details, there's a remarkable 2-volume set by David Parker, Emeritus Professor at the Cranfield School of Management. Professor Parker is the UK government's official historian of privatisation. His nearly 1,300-page official history of privatisation, published in 2009, provides a detailed record of the overall UK privatisation period, from 1970 to 1997. Before watching the next 6 videos, though, it's worth taking a moment to understand the significance of the institutional changes in the UK water sector that we'll address in this session on privatisation and in our final session on regulating the water sector. As the degree of private sector participation increases in a water sector, we'll see that the state does not simply exit the picture. On the contrary, there's a growing need for increasingly capable and comprehensive regulatory actions as more functions are transferred, and for longer durations, to a private sector firm. The UK case was a full divestiture of water and sanitation assets from the state to private sector firms. As a result, it has various complex regulatory institutions. We'll mention some of these in this session, then look at them in more detail in our next session. We're not, however, suggesting the UK case is somehow the best simply because it is the most extreme in these respects. We're also not implying that all private sector participation will or should eventually follow the same path as the UK water case. Instead, the UK water privatisation simply provides us with an opportunity to learn from an extreme change of institutions case, and it's one of the few that exists in the water world today.